Hi y'all, welcome back to my channel. I hid a small Easter egg in last episode. A short teaser about this week featuring character. Did you got the answer from last week's video? So, without further ado, let's talk about our moon boy, Noah. Moonlight Awakening is Noah's biggest feature. You'll see a special gauge appear on your character's status bar. You will get different buffs depends on the shapes of moon, and also react to certain skills and passive of Noah's. So the three shapes of moon corresponded to his different path. So I will briefly talk about his background story. I think his lore is actually one of the best in game, which has a big connection to his three paths. So Noah is actually the youngest brother of our L-Master Hark Ibalin. He lost his brother due to Henner's order attack. Henner's order took Noah for experiment and injected him with the sun element and tried to wield the moon element. Noah's hair turns from white to black. The big conflict between sun and moon brings Noah into a fatal state. But he survived it thanks to Misty's healing. She left Noah in the temple and sacrificed herself after the big L explosion happened. But Noah got sealed from this incident for 500 years, until the Elsword party resorted the Elrond city. He woke up and found a sickle next to him. He picked it up and started his adventure. The faded memory from the incident slowly comes back time to time. All this anger and sadness feelings only makes Noah wants to revenge to Henner's order for his brother. But somehow Noah found himself got cursed and stuck in a time loop. After he used his life to revenge for his father, he found himself at the same temple where he woke up after he dies. He was so confused and tried to revenge again, and after he got defeated on his second time loop, he decided to walk himself into the right path this time by doing the right choice. Anyways, so basically the three paths of him is what he have chosen to be this time. First path, Liberator. Noah decided to fight back the Henner's order to prevent more victims occur. He used the mutated darkness power and became the master of the shadow in this path. LIB features is using the New Moon Awakening and his Obsidian Moon system. When the system is active, it reacts to the Obsidian Darkness skills and deal extra damage. While he achieving higher classes, he gets more buff on the New Moon Awakening status. He gets CDL and Mana Cost passive as well. So make sure always awakening under the New Moon phrase. Awakening gives you extra skills damage, critical damage, and amplify the first skill you cast after Awakening. And after third job, Awakening actually have the chance to remove all the buff as well. And not just that, Obsidian Darkness skills effect can actually ignore defense for 100%. All this buff makes LIB a DPS monster. He's one of the top tier damage class in this meta, so clearing of LIB is decent, just the range is a bit smaller and narrow. His bossing is awesome, fast casting and high damage skills easily to snap out the mob. He has some MP cost reductive passive, but due to his skill spamming and fast casting, his usage of mana is quite high. You will go out of mana easily, so I gave him 1 for that. Supporting 2, he got CDL from Dogs and Wolves, physical defense debuff, and extra boss damage. He's more like an all-out DPS, not really a support tier class. So he's one of the top DPS class now. Straightforward point system, his awakening self buff are really decent. Most of his skills scales with attack speed, making him one of the quickest skills caster in game. But that's make his usage of mana incredibly high, especially for raids. He is the class that require higher ERP to scale with. His early game is a bit challenging, due to his mana usage and OM points are slightly hard to stack before 3rd job, and he lacks of support abilities, which is slightly harder to find raids party for mid games. Overall, he is an all-out DPS class. If your skill rotation and builds are on point, you can deal good damage even not on the best gear. Second Path Celestia. Noah decided to live for himself and study different knowledge of the magic from Clemmer. He was sent in the past by an accident. After feeling despair, Noah takes his chance and study in the past for a long time. He embraced all the power inside of him and mastered the magic of Celestial. CEL's biggest feature is his card system. It's a very useful system for both solo and party. And his awaken will lock on half moon status after 1st job, which means you have one less thing to worry about. Card system might seem complex, but it's actually very simple. So basically you activate the horoscope skills, then it will generate some bubble that gives buff. Aqua gives magical attack buff. Leo gives health and damage reduction buff. For Gemini, when you activate a horoscope skill, you can CDL nearby for 1.5 seconds. And Scorpio mostly for solo or if you are a DPS yourself. It gives self buff for critical damage and boss damage. And generates some marks that actually tracks and attacks enemy. It's good for clearing as well. And when you reach 3rd job, you will be able to store 2 cards effect at the same time. You will get a resurrection passive as well. For clearing, 5 stars with no delves. Bossing damage is very decent as well, but if compares within all the Noahs, I'll rate him as 4. Mana is 3 to 5. Yes, he got that natal chart that gives nice MP regen, but it's not guaranteed. It's not a stable buff. Sometimes you need to activate more than 3 times to get the MP effect. Meanwhile, your mana burns quickly due to his big usage of mana. He got the buff skill that can solve the mana cost a bit. That's why I gave him 3 to 5. Support is 4 to 5. The reason why I will rate him like this is because CEL is the support that really need communication in order to play well. So let me go through it. He got magical defense debuff, 3 supporting cards, debuff removal skills, but the skills I mainly want to talk about is Natal Chart and Horary. Horary have 4 potential effects: party skill damage buff, simply attacking, unlimited secondary resources, and the unknown effect. And this skill is actually not a RNG skill, but a time dead order skill. But when it comes to end chart, I think it is one of the most loved and hated skills in game. The reason why is because it forces awakening for all nearby party member for a chance of 50%. Awakening system is actually very important for a lot of character. Force Awakening might potentially mess up a lot of character. Let's talk about Lib as the sample. He relies on the new moon effect, right? Imagine he's DPSing for boss, but you use the end chart to force him awaken while on the full moon phase. That is like 40% damage down before he can re-awaken again. A lot of new players ignore the party chat sometimes, or refuse to communicate. That makes a bad impact to a team if you don't communicate with the team. I suggest to unlock the second hyperactive if possible, one of the most useful HA in game. A guaranteed NATO charge and Horary get the best effect. CEL is most new player friendly in all NOAs. Good clearing and low CDR, good mana resources, popular and welcome support. Basically is a all around character. Somewhat depends on RNG. In fact, he is one of the biggest mana usage class in game, so make sure to get that NATO chart effect. You need to know all your supporting skills, and please communicate with the party for raids. One of the biggest issue of his is actually not the gameplay. His skills affects actually causing some FPS drop for some team member. I remember one time I was killed up with 3 CEL for a party, turns out lagging the 4th person and crashed his game. I personally main CEL myself. The recent nerf of CEL is actually quite fair. I mean, that's what balancing means. There's always damage carry in raids. His utility parts is what I like about this class. And besides, who doesn't like to make a freaking star and blast it to the enemy face? Third job, Nyx Pieta. Noah decided to act like his brother, use the moon power to heal and aid the others. Noah mentally got defeated in the countless time loops. He decided to give up everything and headed to the right leg to the past. In the vision, he saw how his brother hid his pain and showed only love to him. He decided to move on and continues Evalen's will by using the full moon power. Nyx is actually one of my favorite support, and one of the most stable top tier supporting class in the meta. He relies on the full moon phase awakening for his skill set. His system is somewhat complex, you will slightly suffer in a bit before trance. But after that, all you need to do is just awaken on the full moon state and use all of your skills. He can give more than 110% damage to physical class, and 75% to magical class. How crazy is that? Let's break it down his kit. So inside of his Blessing of the Moon skill set, he got 2 types of skills, Rest and Confess. So the skills of Rest focus on the defensive buff, while Confessing is more of an aggressive buff. All of the Blessing of the Moon skills react to your current awakening moon phase. You can kind of ignore that part after trance, since the passive make all of the skills react to the full moon phase with the extra effects. So Confessions, Defense debuff, Skills damage boosting, All element resist debuff, Amplify critical damage and receiving damage debuff. After using 3 Confession skills, you can apply the Confession buff to the party. Skills of Rest, Awakening charge buff, Healing with consistent follow-up HP and mana regen, Freezing for 5 seconds, Defensive field, and after using 3 skills of Rest, you will give the party Rest buff as well. And I'm not done with the party buff yet. You can give beats for awakening and refill all special resource by pressing V. And he got the most useful MC skill in game. Benediction basically is the seal of time which keeps the party from dying. and hyperactive CDL accelerations. That's around 10-second cooldown for HA. What a useful support. So this is my rating for Nyx. His bossing and clearing is actually not bad. I gave him 3 just because it's comparing within all 3 Noahs. His passive make up for his general damage, and his skills range is not bad as well. Just the casting felt kind of slow in my opinion. Good mana management. When under Full Moon Awakening, his mana and cooldown significantly reduced due to his passive. With his healing skills, he doesn't require much potion for general runs. And 5 stars for support. If you master the freezing part, 6 stars for sure. And Nyx is one of the top tier support in this meta. Can crowd control for bossing, good for both magical and physical parties. I highly suggest to make one for raid solves. Easy to farm for raids, since everyone wants an all-in-one package support, right? Can free up some slots for raids party, since he has so many utilities as a support. His early game is kind of confusing. You need to complete trends in order to play it smoothly. Take some time to master if you want to support your party well. His damage is not good as the other 2 Noahs. Slow casting animations, can't hands off easily if compared within all Noah's path. But I actually like to use him as a support the most. In fact, I use him for raids more than my main. As I said it before, there are always damage carry for raids. You just need to be a good support for party, then a quick and safe clear will be guaranteed. KOG recently shortened the time of the early stage for new characters. So no matter you are new to the game or you just want to make an odds for raids, Noah is one of the good pick for sure. Level up from 1 to 99 shouldn't take more than a day. You don't really need a jump event for him at all. I was waiting for the mod skill to update for a long time, but sadly we haven't got any update since the 3rd job released. I will cover it if they update it in the future. I'm slightly worried about Noah, since he is the newest character in game. His performance must get some change and balance for sure. Well, as I mentioned it before, the position of the character won't stay the same since the meta always changes. But I hope Noah can stay near what he's standing now in the future. I really like his lore development. In fact, he haven't officially joined the Elsword party in the story now. I'm excited to see how the story goes after. So I hope you all will enjoy this character like I do. Comment and let me know what's your thought on Noah. Like if you enjoyed this video. Subscribe if you want to see my upcoming video of this series. I will see you all on next one.